In this video, I'll show you how to remove and replace the spark plugs in a 4.7 Jeep Grand Cherokee. So we're going to remove the top of the air breather that's connected to the throttle body. I'm not going to take the airbox off. You can. There's 4 clips. I'm just going to undo these. I've got 2 clamps here for the rubber air intake, and then 1 on the throttle body, and we're going to lift that right up. 8mm or flat screwdriver. And then there is 1 located in the back on the throttle body. It's right here. As soon as I find it. All right. So now, once this hose is out of the way, you can see that there's a mounting bolt here. And there's 1 directly on the other side. That's a 10mm socket. It's easier to get in there. Wrench will not work. And just loosen that up. And we'll get the other side. Here's the passenger side. Now we can lift the housing off the throttle body and the top of the engine. Just wiggle it back and forth. You got 1 more vent hose right here. So you're going to have, this 4.7 has 8 coils, 4 on one side, 4 on the other. And every other one you'll notice will have a little resistor mounted to the actual top of the coil. That's for static through the harness. So I'm going to take that one off to give you an idea. 10mm bolt. I prefer a socket on this. I'm going to give it a quick spray real quick to make sure we don't cause any havoc and breakage. $10mm socket. I'm gonna do it by hand because I don't, being a plastic intake and a stud, sometimes a tool, electric tool or an air tool could strip that really fast or crack plastic. So I'm gonna go by hand and hopefully get some. You wanna feel that break. You don't wanna force it with a power tool. And then you can lift up on that resistor. Now we're going to disconnect the ignition coil harness to the coil. There's a tab right here you can push down. I like to use a little pocket screwdriver. Just pull it off. Now we're going to grab the ignition coil and we're going to just give it a twist and lift up. So you're going to use a 5/8 spark plug socket, and that's the type with a rubber boot in it. You're going to bring that socket right down over that spark plug hole, 3/8 drive ratchet, and turn it counterclockwise. And there's your spark plug. So take your new spark plug, put it in your spark plug socket till you feel that rubber boot grab so it won't fall out. And then you're going to line it up with the spark plug hole and thread it by hand. I always say start it by hand. You want to because you don't want to cross thread that. That is an aluminum head on this particular 4.7 liter. I'm just going to go all the way right down to, till it really feels snug. And I'll get my 3/8 ratchet. And just go clockwise and snug it down. You'll feel that new washer grab. It's a crush washer on spark plugs. So the idea is to bottom it out. And you can turn it 1/4 to 1/8 of a turn. Some will torque them. I will look up the torque specs if there are some, and we will torque it to the proper spec. So the torque specs for this spark plug is 20 foot-pounds. So we'll put our torque wrench on there. So now to install the ignition coil, we're going to drop it right over that cylinder hole. I'm going to line up the mounting bolt hole. Once you feel that rubber boot start to catch, you're going to need to just, on both sides, I like to put even pressure down, Feel it slide right in. Nice. Take your ignition coil wire, line it up and click it till you hear the click. And now we're going to take that harness resistor, put that bolt over, get the nut, 10mm socket, we'll snug it down, then we'll torque it to factory specs. The specs on this is 70 inch-pounds, 10mm socket, and just torque it. So now we can put the air housing back onto the throttle body. So you're going to put that rubber seal on there, rock this back and forth until it seats. You want to line up these mounting brackets right here on the side. And you can take a visual, feel, and see if that's going all the way down in. There we go. Now I'm going to put those mounting bolts on way before I tighten any other brackets. On the driver's side, I'm going to put in the mounting bolt, set up by hand, and then I'm going to go to the passenger side and do the same on that. Once those both are in place, you can tighten them up. That's a 10mm socket or wrench. While we're right here, let's put that breather hose back on. And now we can put on the actual rubber vent hose. Air hose. And with a flathead screwdriver or a 8mm socket, I'm going to tighten up the clamps for the air box. And then the last one up here on the throttle body housing. When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.